I saw the joy on his face when he saw both of those boys in his room. For those of you who know me, I was snapping pictures. I was also convinced he wanted to go out with a boom trying to make it to New Year's Eve. Although that did not happen, he came close to it, and with that bid he would say, "Let it go." I am glad he could go on and not suffer anymore. For me, the thought of him not in this world physically anymore does not compare to how awful it was watching him suffer and deteriorate. We will always have a lifetime of memories. I have never been through this before with grandparents or anyone else that was so dear to my heart. I knew my dad would want us all to remember the good times we had with him and celebrate them. He will live on in all of us that way. I want to read something that our neighbor from Syracuse, New York shared on Facebook about my dad. We lived next to them from about 1971 to 1973 when my parents moved along with Fulton.
I'm just going to read this right from the paper. Her name is Cheryl Hanley, and I've been posting like throwback pictures on Facebook the last couple of months. So she wrote, "Looking at all these wonderful pictures prompts me to write this about this man you affectionately call Daddy. For 40 plus years I've known this gentle man. He was our handsome neighbor with a pretty wife and 2 little adorable girls," which one of them was a foster child that my parents had. "I have for many years called them Mr. and Mrs. Z. His laughter was contagious, his voice was deep and soothing, his hugs were strong and heartfelt. He gave me my very first snowmobile ride across the wide open spaces of Chestnut Hill Schoolyard in the dark. He was always hardworking. He had a knack for moving from house to house once in the Sunshine State, causing me to fill up all the spaces in my Z section of my address book." That doesn't happen that often. "He adores his wife and his family. He has always been proud of his children, and in my eyes I can see him riding the lawnmower with Casey on his lap. He seemed to be fearless, never realizing that he would one day be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt just how fearless he was. With this battle he faced head on and diligently fought, showing one and all that he is truly indeed a fighter." The connection that we made all those years ago would prove to be timeless, always being able to pick up where we left off and sharing our lives across the miles. A connection made that day they moved in next door to us, forging a bond that all of us treasure. Inasmuch as we cannot imagine our lives without him, I am so very thankful for having known him and all of you. I know that we are born into this world, a wish granted by higher power, on loan for however many years it's meant to be. A timeline unknown by individual. If our life goes as planned, we are climbing a staircase with every step reflecting a certain time frame in our lives. Once we reach the top, and we have been lucky enough along the way to have known and experienced the warmth of love, the joy of laughter, the power of knowledge, and the kindness of friendship, then we've added to that fabric of our lives, piecing together a quilt of sorts. With that quilt, we can look back and reminisce as days gone by, obtaining a bit of comfort as we wrap ourselves in the treasured memories of the wish granted so long ago by a higher power. It is my hope that these words bring you some sort of measure of comfort, knowing that this man you affectionately call Daddy has brought much joy to everyone who's ever crossed his path, with the warmth of his smile, the firm grip of his handshake, and the strength of his hug. She'll love him and miss him.